Tiffany Stratton. I don't think Charlotte Flair expected me to stand up to her and clap back. If you like the video, please subscribe and comment. Stratton addresses the segment. On the lead-up to Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 41, the two talents shared the ring together for a segment on Friday Night SmackDown. Personal jabs were taken as Flair made fun of Stratton's voice cracking, and in response, Stratton went on to speak about Flair's divorce from fellow WWE talent Andrade and mentioning how Flair is 0-3 in marriages. As Stratton was leaving ringside, Flair stated that Stratton's real-life boyfriend Ludwig Kaiser was in her direct messages on social media. For the first time since that segment, Stratton commented on it while on the Babyfaces podcast. When asked what is Flair underestimating about her, Stratton feels Flair did not expect her to stand up to her and clap back. She went on to state that they did a good job of getting people invested in their match and story. That I think, being so new into this business, being so new as champion, I don't think Charlotte Flair really expected me to stand up to her, and I don't think she expected me to, I guess, almost clap back. Look, all I have to say is it's live TV. Stakes are high. We're going into WrestleMania. I have the title, I want to keep the title, and I'm going to pull out every stop that I can, and people want to see our match. And I think that we did a very good job of getting people wanting to see our match and invested in our story, and now I'm ready to put on the best women's match ever, and I'm ready to go to war. It has yet to be officially announced which night of WrestleMania that Flair vs. Stratton is taking place on, but WWE rolled out new merchandise that promotes their match for night one. Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte Flair did not expect me to stand up to her. The WWE Women's Champ addresses the spicy, messy build to her WrestleMania 41 showdown with the Queen. Sean Reuter has been thinking too much about pro wrestling since at least WrestleMania and blogging about it for SB Nation and Cage Side Seats since around WrestleMania 28. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton's promo exchange from the April 4th episode of SmackDown has been in the headlines since it was still on the air. The WWE Women's title program for WrestleMania 41 was already being viewed through a reality-era lens thanks to a tense split-screen interview in which many felt the veteran Flair buried the young champion. Tensions quickly ramped up last Friday when Charlotte seemed rattled by Chicago's jeers even before things broke down into personal insults that apparently weren't part of the script. Neither wrestler had spoken on last Friday's segment until Stratton seemed to during her appearance on the Babyfaces podcast. The hosts don't directly mention the April 4th mic duel, but do allude to how Tiffany's feud with Charlotte has gotten personal and spicy. The champ was asked what she thinks Flair is underestimating about her. Stratton's answer definitely seems to encompass their latest SmackDown scene, and a solid explanation of how it was good for her and her Mania program with Flair. I think being so new to this business, being so new as champion, I don't think she really expected me to stand up to her. And I don't think she expected me to, I guess, almost clap back. Look, all I have to say is it's live TV. People want to see our match, and I think that we did a very good job of getting people wanting to see our match and invested in our story. And now, I'm ready to put on the best women's match ever, and I'm ready to go to war. Regardless of whether she came up with that on her own or got help from WWE Creative, it's a great answer that puts the build and the feud in a much better light than it was in a few weeks ago. It may even be enough to convince some that the whole thing was a work. It would be difficult to pull off, but the Trainwreck segments have done more to build interest in the match than anything WWE was doing prior. They've also managed to solidify Stratton's position as a babyface in the rivalry, which can be a tricky proposition when facing Charlotte. But before we start drawing lines on a bunch of papers pinned to a bulletin board, we'll throw at you. What do you make of Stratton's quote? Are you more excited for this match now than you were a week ago? Sound off below, and check out the champ's entire interview with the babyfaces here. Tiffany Stratton speaks out on infamous Charlotte Flair segment on WWE SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton addressed the divisive SmackDown segment featuring herself and Charlotte Flair. The April 4th episode of SmackDown saw Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton engage in a war of words that's garnered much discussion on the internet. The two got personal, and Backstage reports indicate that jabs about their personal lives were off-script. Speaking in a new interview with the Babyfaces podcast, Tiffany Stratton was asked about the segment, and she indicated that Flair probably didn't expect her to stand her ground. Being so new into this business and being so new as champion, I don't think she really expected me to stand up to her, and I don't think she expected me to almost clap back. All I have to say is, it's live TV, stakes are high, and we're going into WrestleMania. I have the title, I want to keep the title. I'm going to pull out every stop that I can, and people want to see our match. I think we did a very good job getting people wanting to see our match and invested in our story. Now, I'm ready to put on the best women's match ever and ready to go to war. Fightful. What did Ric think of Tiffany Stratton's jabs at Charlotte Flair? Appearing on Busted Open Radio, Charlotte's father Ric Flair was asked about the controversial SmackDown segment, and he had this to say. I have an opinion, but I don't really want to voice it. I can say this, it's very sensitive. I didn't like it, but wrestling is wrestling. I hate when they use me, but Charlotte said it right. You think that's the first time hearing my name? I want to clarify this. She is 10 times the athlete that I am. So much better of a worker than I ever was. I can't do half the things that she does. It's not like she's 5 feet 2 inches and 103 pounds. She's 5 feet 11 inches and weighs 145 pounds. She works so hard. Undertaker said it best. The Queen came back and regained her crown. She deserves it. She'll be the best worker in the business, female, until the day she decides to retire. Hat tip Fightful. Every off-script line from Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair's WWE SmackDown promo revealed. It has not been a great week for WWE superstars Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. Their heated exchange during Friday, April 4th's episode of SmackDown has received a largely negative reaction from the WWE Universe. The pair were doing their best to generate hype and anticipation for their women's WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 41, with both getting deeply personal during the segment. That being said, the fact that people are talking about this match will now make it a must-watch in Las Vegas. It has been reported to be taking place during Night 1. WWE uploaded the promo to their YouTube channel, describing it as an intense war of words. However, it appears that large parts of it have been cut, as well as muting words on the Netflix replayed, off-script lines. Both received heat backstage. While it was revealed after the promo took place that both superstars went off-script during their promo, details emerged about the exact lines that weren't supposed to be said. Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live broke down the promo piece by piece and went into detail regarding what should and shouldn't have been said. Tiffany starts doing all of her lines. She mentions that Charlotte is a Nepo baby, which is a scripted line. But then Charlotte jumps in with, Nepo Queen, the #1 Nepo baby. This was not in the script. Then she starts making fun of Tiffany's voice, which was absolutely not in the script. She's ridiculing her and doing the high-pitched voice thing. Then Tiffany, I guess she was over it. She mentioned 0 to 3. The discussion about divorces and everything, that was all in the script. But the line about 0 to 3, which was a reference to how many times she's been divorced, that was not in the script. Tiffany ended up throwing down the mic and rolling out of the ring, which is a heel move, and she's supposed to be a babyface. That also was not in the script, and if you watch it, she throws down the mic and she starts to roll out of the ring and Charlotte is walking towards her. And Wade Barrett, he's gonna get between these two because he can see this thing has gone totally off the rails. They go to the back, and the fact is, there was heat on both of them. There was more heat on Charlotte because she went off the script more, and she's the veteran. She's the one that's supposed to be keeping this stuff together. After he was mentioned during the promo, Ludwig Kaiser, Stratton's real-life boyfriend, responded with a clip of Shawn Michaels saying, "Don't flatter yourself." This is the only comment he has made at the time of writing. Thank you guys.